Our Father who art in heaven, as a body we congregate in this council chamber for the betterment of our fellow citizens. Lead us that we may do all things well. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. DeBerke.
Present.
Mr. Schuldmeier.
Present.
Mr. Bob Culverson.
Here.
Ms. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Hausfeld.
Here.
Let the record show 5 members are present. Members of council, what is your pleasure of the reading of the last minutes?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBerke.
I make a motion to dispense with the reading of the last minutes.
Second that, Mr. President.
A motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Ms. Hausfeld to dispense with the reading of the last minutes. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered. Members of council, are there any errors or corrections to the minutes? Not, the minutes will stand as submitted. Move to reports of city officials. Mayor, Mr. Stuchel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to start by asking if we could please have a moment of silence for a resident, dedicated resident and veteran, Charlie Powell, who died this month on the 16th. Thank you. Rest in peace, Charlie. You'll be missed. This Tuesday, I had the pleasure and honor of presenting my first mayoral proclamation, dedicating July 21st as Super Ben Day in St. Bernard. If I could, I'd actually like to read the proclamation because it meant that much to me, being able to do this. Whereas it is one of the responsibilities of the mayor of the village of St. Bernard to recognize occasions of outstanding significance, and whereas the village of St. Bernard is proud to have a true superhero among its own. Whereas Ben Messer, aka Super Ben, was born June 28, 2015 to Keith and Tiffany Messer, was a twin brother of Luke and big brother of Alexander. Whereas on July 21, 2015, Ben traded in his superhero cape for his angel wings. Whereas Super Ben may be gone from this earth, but he continues to accomplish so much. Whereas his biggest endeavor was raising $50,000 for Cincinnati Children's Hospital, and that was accomplished by hosting the following events: Save a Hard St. B Fitness Day in Zubathon, Ben Strong Nights at Wiedemann Brewery, Home is Where the Heart Is, Cuts for the Cause, Halloween at I Am Coffee, Trunk or Treat at Bear Paddle Swim School, Fretboard Brewing Company's Pints and Poses event, Buffalo Wings and Rings Dine to Donate nights, birthday fundraisers, giving events, and reoccurring monthly donations. Whereas the Ben Strong Blood Drive, which began in 2017, has been able to provide life-saving blood products for over 535 people in the greater Cincinnati area. Whereas the Ben Strong Toy and Book Drive that has been held every year since 2015 donates toys, books, and gift cards to patients in the cardiac units at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Whereas since 2015, more than 2,200 Ben Strong t-shirts have been purchased, loved, and proudly worn to destinations around the world. Whereas Super Ben has blessed so many people with his loving spirit and will live on in the hearts of those in this community. Now do I, Jonathan Stuchel, Mayor of the Village of St. Bernard, declare July 21st, 2020 to be Super Ben Day. So I have to say that that was probably the biggest honor I've had thus far being mayor. I'd also like to remind everybody, of course, I know this is going to be reported by another council member, but if you're not able to make it to the blood drive this Friday, that you can always donate in Ben's name the next time you're at Hawksworth. So again, I'd like to ask that everyone continue to please allowing Ben to continue to help others. Also, I wanted to report to you all that currently the police department, the chief is looking into the purchase of body cams and the replacement of our 12-year-old in-car video recorders. So we will be coming back to you all with our estimates on that. That is a very important part of what we need to do today and as far as policing. Also, lastly, I'd like to make note of what was reported, of course, today on Channel 5. We are looking at more effective ways to try to get important information out to the citizens that it's outside of call command and Facebook. So we are looking at potential of text-based automation that we could use. We will be getting back to you on that, but I promise we will do better. I'm asking that the citizens please be vigilant, especially at night after dark. Again, of these situations where there have been robberies that have occurring in Norwood, and we're here on 2 different occasions where individuals, of course, were held at gunpoint, and there was one situation that actually a kidnapping occurred where an individual was forced to go to an ATM. So I'm asking the citizens again to please be vigilant. If you see anything suspicious, please call our police department immediately. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Auditor, Ms. Brickwick.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Auditor's Office prepared Resolution 7/2020 for tonight's meeting. This resolution is required to be passed by council before Hamilton County can distribute funds from the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act to St. Bernard. I would also like to remind the residents that St. Bernard has the renewal of the current 7 mil operating levy on the August 4th ballot. This levy will bring in $538,250 per year to the village. This operating levy is a big part of the property taxes that the village receives. Without this levy, the village will only receive 3.68 inside millage, which is approximately $330,000 in property tax revenue. This is a renewal levy, so residents' taxes will not increase. The estimated annual cost to the homeowner is $194.04 per $100,000 of the market value. This operating levy helps provide for the excellent services for our police, fire, service, and recreation departments. I encourage all the residents to vote yes for the 7 mil levy on August 4th. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Director of the Law, Ms. Van Valkenburg.
Thank you. I am working with the Chief of Police and responding to some document requests, public document requests, and I'm continuing to work with the Laws, Contracts, and Claim Committee on non-discrimination legislation, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer, Mr. Ungrud.
Thank you, Mr. President. I apologize. I left my report sitting on my desk at home. I'll make copies and put them in everyone's mailbox and report next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Safety Director and Service Director, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hello, everyone. 8A2 line item safety building maintenance will need an appropriation. There is $932.49 left in that line item, and the other air conditioner compressor went bad. This one cost $6,737. So far this year, we have spent close to $15,000 on the building. My suggestion is to put another $15,000 into the line item. Heidi Sherrill, Jerry Stoker, and I had a meeting with Impact. This is the program that calculates our building fees and permits. Our system has to be brought up to date to function with the new fees. The meeting went well, and we will soon be up and running. All that's left for McClellan Avenue project is the painting. Sort of painless, don't you think? I am hoping that there will be enough left over in this line item to cover some, if not all, of the basin repairs. The floor in the fitness center is moving along smoothly. I have had a fresh coat of paint put on the walls. I think by the first week of August, the fitness center will be fit to get fit. It's rather a big job. Oh, I didn't mean you to get fit, but the floor, of course. To my community. I am sensing that I have 4 dogs on leashes. Their names are Anger, Hate, Love, and Angel. They are mine, and each are loved in their own way. Anger and Hate are indifferent. They can take or leave the infection. Love likes an easy leash and always comes back happy as though he or she hasn't seen me in days. Angel is the snugger, never leaving my side. We cross paths with a pack of dogs. Immediately, the fur rises on Anger and Hate's neck. Their teeth are bared, and a forced rumble is emitted deep from their chest. My hand goes white-knuckled on their leashes. Angel signals, "Give Love the leash." Love's ears pop up to attention, tail wags, tongue hangs out, and he goes forth and returns happy as usual. Angel nudges my leg to instill the thought, "I am glad Love is with us." I scratch each behind the ear along with a pat and think, "Me too." That concludes my report.
Thank you. Tax Commissioner / Administrator, Ms. Helms.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a quick tax department update. The federal deadline for filing your 2019 St. Bernard tax return was July 15th. All late returns are now subject to a $25 fee. This will escalate $25 each month your tax return is late, up to a maximum of $150. These are state mandated late fees, so please do not call the mayor to ask him to waive your fees. Due to the government moving the tax due date to July 15th, we will not be sending out 2020 second quarter estimated bills. We will be able to send out the third quarter estimate bills in October. Some people may have both second and third quarter amounts due at this time. As always, if you have any questions, please give me a call at 242-7710. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Now move to reports of standing committees. Finance, Mr. DeBerke.
Thank you, Mr. President. The village received $23,586.51 from the garbage fee program for May. This brings the total for the first 5 months of the year to $123,700.78. I'd like to thank Donna and Lily Middendorf for holding a collection day for Matthew 25 Ministries Disaster Relief last Saturday. Also, a big thank you to our village's first and only female firefighter, Christine Paisley, for her 10 years of service to our village and the fire department. Good luck in your future endeavors. I know you'll enjoy your time with your neighbors. Because my report, Mr. President.
Is there a safety committee report? Mr. Schultmeyer, do you have?
I have the Safety Committee report from Ray Culbertson via Tommy. The monthly report for June 2020, fire incidents. We had 9 structure fires, 5 other fires, 2 vehicle fires, 4 auto accidents, 4 hazmat incidents, 7 service calls, 8 fire alarms, and 7 EMS assists. Mutual aid given for fire was Norwood 7, Elmwood Place 1, Little Miami 1, Reading 1, and Springfield Township 1. Mutual aid received was 0. For EMS incidents, we had 70 transports and 30 non-transports in the month of June. Mutual aid given was Elmwood Place 23, Norwood 1, Reading 1, Cincinnati 1. Mutual aid received was from Lockland 1. Thank you, Lockland. Details of interest, we had, of our incidents, we had 3 non-breathers, 2 unconscious, 7 auto accidents, and thankfully no overdoses this month. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Service, Mr. Schultmeyer.
I have no report this month.
Thank you. Public improvements, Mr. Bob Culbertson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The CIC met this past Monday. Just to remind the residents to check the CIC website, as we have 2 empty lots available, 41 Baker and 307 Bank. We also have a property out there at 4913 Andrew. Again, check the website, and you can submit your applications directly to the village clerk. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Anyone have a report for laws, contracts, and claims? Nope. Okay.
Mr. President,
Mr.
sorry, I don't have obviously her report, but just as a reminder, Tuesday the 28th, the Laws, Contracts, and Claims Committee will meet at 6 p.m. in Centennial Hall to continue the discussion on the anti-discrimination ordinance.
Thank you. Marketing, Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Ben Strong Give Back Blood Drive is scheduled for Friday, July 24th, 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the St. Bernard Municipal Building. You can schedule an appointment by calling 451-0910 or by visiting hawksworth.org. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Business and industry, Ms. Houseboat.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight I have the Building and Zoning Department for June 2020 activities report. If I can read it through my glasses because they're fogging up. Building activities, 6 residential permits, 1 commercial permit. Total fees for residential permits is $1,049.55. Total fees for commercial permits is $354.89. Amount paid to the Treasurer, State of Ohio residential was $10.50, and amount paid to the Treasurer, State of Ohio commercial was $10.65. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Clerk, are there any committee of the whole has been submitted?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Are there any communications?
No, Mr.
None this
President.
evening. Thank you. If not, could you please give the first reading of Resolution Number 7, 2020?
Resolution number 7, 2020. Resolution authorizing that the Village of St. Bernard will confirm compliance with the federal government guidelines for how the distribution of CARE Act funds will be used and declaring an emergency.
Since we do not have enough votes, do I have a motion to, for this resolution to have it go regular course?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBerke.
make a motion that Resolution 7 go regular course.
I'll second that.
A motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson, that resolution number 7, 2020 go its regular course. Are there any remarks? If not, clerk, will you please call the roll on the motion?
Mr. DeBerke.
Aye.
Mr. Schuldmeyer. Mr. Bob Culbertson.
Aye.
Ms. Miller. Ms. Hausfeld.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Resolution number 7, 2020 will go regular course. Clerk, will you please give the first reading of ordinance number 11, 2020?
Ordinance number 11, 2020, authorizing and directing the auditor to provide additional appropriations and declaring an emergency.
Members of council, do I have a motion for ordinance number 11, 2020 to go regular course?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBerke.
make a motion that ordinance 11 goes regular course.
I'll second that.
A motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson for ordinance number 11, 2020 to go regular course. Are there any remarks? If not, clerk, will you please call the roll on the motion?
Mr. DeBerke.
Aye.
Mr. Schuldmeyer. Mr. Bob Culbertson.
Aye.
Ms. Miller. Ms. Hausfeld.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Ordinance number 11, 2020 will go its regular course. Clerk, will you please give the first reading of ordinance number 12, 2020?
Ordinance number 12, 2020. Ordinance amending Title IX, Chapter 181 of the St. Bernard Codified Ordinances, the St. Bernard Municipal Income Tax Code, and declaring an emergency.
Members of council, you've heard the first reading of ordinance number 12, 2020. Do I have a motion for it to go regular course?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBerke.
make a motion that ordinance 12 go regular course.
I'll second that.
A motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson for ordinance number 12, 2020 to go regular course. Are there any remarks? Not, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. DeBerke.
Aye.
Mr. Schuldmeyer. Mr. Bob Culbertson.
Aye.
Ms. Miller. Ms. Hausfeld.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Ordinance number 12, 2020 will go regular course. Clerk, will you please give the first reading of ordinance number 13, 2020?
Ordinance number 13, 2020. An ordinance authorizing the granting of an easement to Duke Energy on the Village of St. Bernard owned real property parcel number 582-0013-017800, known as the St. Bernard Safety Center at 4200 Vine Street, for the purpose of enabling Duke to perform necessary work for our natural gas transportation and declaring an emergency.
Members of council, you've heard the first reading of ordinance number 11, 2020. Do I have a motion for it to go regular course?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBerke.
make a motion to put ordinance 13 on its regular course.
I'll second that.
A motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson for ordinance number 13, 2020 to go regular course. Are there any remarks? Not, clerk, will you please call the roll?
Mr. DeBerke.
Aye.
Mr. Schuldmeyer. Mr. Bob Culbertson.
Aye.
Ms. Miller. Ms. Hausfeld.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays, motion carries. Ordinance number 13, 2020 will go regular course. This time, does anyone on council have anything under old business?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBerke.
first I'd like to make a motion, have a special council meeting next Thursday, the 30th at 7 p.m. in council chambers to pass ordinance, or resolution 7, ordinance 11, ordinance 12, and ordinance 13.
I'll second that.
A motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson to have a special council meeting next Thursday, July 30th at 7 p.m. to discuss Resolution 7 and ordinances 11, 12, and 13. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in
Yes,
favor?
Mr. President.
Sorry, Ms. Miller first.
Before you vote on
Oh, Ms.
that
Berkeley,
exact one, I know the fire chief wanted to come up and discuss a possible transfer he wanted to do, and I was going to suggest that I prepare another ordinance for that, and also include the safety center in that, and then I also need an additional $5,000 be put into 2C2 because the state has created some new reports that they have to audit, and then we have to pay them to audit them. So they amended our contract with them, and so we need additional money in that line item. So I don't know if this would be the time that you would allow him to come up and speak before you vote on that, to add ordinance, possibly an ordinance 14 to that. Thank you.
Ms. Hausfeld had comment.
Yes, Mr. President. I do have a problem with having a special council meeting because we only have two council meetings, or, I'm sorry, one council meeting a month and one committee of the whole meeting a month. And I just think that the rest of us always set aside those days, and I think it's not too much to ask for all 7 council members to be at those particular days every month. And to have a special council meeting, you know, it just kind of burns me a little bit, and I just wanted to be public about that. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll leave that for audience then. Does anyone on council have anything in their new business? Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address council? Come on now. Well, if we're going to change it, there's no sense voting on the motion and have to amend it, so we'll hear from the chief before we call the motion.
Good evening. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to request to transfer $20,000 from 782 paramedic and firefighter training to 7A1 firefighter line item. This would be to backfill Jeff Martini. I got Jason Martin in my mind right now. Jeff Martini, who's been off, as you're aware, he injured his knee on a fire in Norwood, so he's going to be off for about 3 months. This would allow us to backfill his position, so all of our units would be at full staffing. So I would need to move that money over there so we could pay the guys who would be covering that on ASP. So that's what I'd like to do.
What's council's feeling on?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBarkey?
there's money in there right now, correct? You could be paid out of? Because you're not running out of the line item yet, correct?
I'm not, but I don't feel comfortable spending the money unless, I'd rather ask for it now than ask for it at the end of the year. I know, I figured out what we're gonna need through the end of the year, and I will need this extra money in order to make that happen. So, yes, there's money there. I mean, we're certainly not out of firefighter line item money, but we're gonna need this additional appropriation to do that. I don't feel comfortable having him work it and then have to ask for the money later. I'd rather just do it now and get it approved.
Put it on committee of the whole.
Mr. President,
Mr. Bob Culbertson.
you're asking to transfer the money from the training line?
Yes.
Are you gonna need that in the training line in the future? I would imagine we put that in there for a reason.
Yeah, so one of the things with training is we had some new hire training that needed to be conducted for these guys. Well, obviously, he's one of them who's not gonna be able to go to the training because he's off hurt. And then we had Seth Donovan, who was finishing up paramedic school, and he's no longer with us. So there is some money. It's a lot easier to take money from that line item, and I can control what training's left for the rest of the year and make some of that up next year. There's nowhere else really to take it from. So in order to backfill him, that's really my only option other than to ask for an additional appropriation.
So once again, what is council's pleasure then? Are we gonna put this ordinance on the table or discuss it more in committee of the whole, or need direction?
Mr. President,
Mr. Bob Culbertson.
I mean, I'm fine with putting it on, you know, on that ordinance.
A motion by Mr. Bob Culbertson, second by Mr. Schultmeyer to place, I'm assuming a new, Ms. Brickway, a new ordinance on, ordinance number 14 on the table for next Thursday's meeting also. Are there any remarks? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Thank you.
All right. Now I'll go back to.
That includes Peggy's 5,000 too, correct?
And did you want me to include, since the safety center's pretty much out of money with this air conditioner, include the additional 15,000?
Can't they open windows?
Not in that location, they can't.
Do what?
Not in that location, they can't. Do you want me to include that?
Might as well.
Okay.
Everybody's okay with that?
Okay. All right, so a motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson, correct? I'm getting, all right. Motion by Mr. Bob Culbertson, second by Mr. Schultmeyer to place ordinance 14 on the table. Any remarks? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? So ordered. And now I'm kind of lost. We already made
Old
the
business.
motion for the special.
We got to vote on the special meeting still.
That's, the motion was on the table by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson They have the special council meeting Thursday, July 7th, and we will include ordinance number 14 with the ones previously mentioned.
Correct.
Call the roll on that, just so it's official, since I've lost control at this point. The first motion.
Most of we just voted on was put the ordinance on the table. This is to have the special
this is
meeting
just
now.
This is for the special council meeting.
Mr. DeBerke.
Aye.
Mr. Schuldmeyer. Mr. Bob Culverson.
Aye.
Ms. Miller. Ms. Hausfeld.
Aye.
5 ayes, no nays. Motion carries. Special council meeting will be next Thursday, July 30th at 7 p.m. All right. Anyone else in the audience wishing to address council? No? All right. What is council's pleasure on the?
Old business, new business.
We did that earlier.
If you want the audience participation after the meeting.
No, I did the audience after old, new. Do you have anything under old or new business?
Jonathan, is the rental program still going on? We still inspecting places?
Mr. President, could you please repeat that?
Is the rental program still in operation?
No, it's not. We are revising that. I'll get back to you on that. Thank you.
All right.
Mr. President.
Ms. Hausfeld.
Just a quick thing. Tommy, I didn't get a chance to talk to you. Up at Tower Park, the swings that are up there, you know how it's got like an S on them and they're usually like clipped together? The S's are coming apart to where if somebody swings too high, it is possible that they could come undone. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? All right, what is council's pleasure on the excuse of the absent members?
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBerke.
make a motion to excuse the absent members.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson to excuse the absent members. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we will have a special council meeting next Thursday, July 30th at 7 p.m. Then the next committee of the whole will be Thursday, August 13th at 7 p.m. This time I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President,
Mr. DeBerke.
I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
A motion by Mr. DeBerke, second by Mr. Bob Culbertson to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So ordered. We are adjourned.